We have this feeling that the world is speeding up and things are getting crazier and crazier every single year. I want you to hang on to what I'm going to say and listen to what I'm going to say, because I think it's a little different than what a lot of people actually say about this. So there's often two students that I see, two kinds of students. I know that's a generalization and that's a really poor generalization, but one of them really struggles with feeling that they could do things, and you could really see it, that they're sort of struggling. They don't really know what they want to do, and I think that this is most of us. But then on the other side, there's a group that is just hungry. They're very, very hungry, and they really, really want something. And they're really struggling with figuring out what that something is. So they look at the world and they see all of these wonderful things that are going on, and they want to pursue all of these wonderful things that are going on. And there's just such a hunger that when you talk to them, it's almost like their eyes glaze over and they can't see anything other than the things that they're hungry about. And that's the group that I want to talk about, because I think it's important to think about. So one of the things that you'll notice is that, yeah, a lot of life does seem to be speeding up, and there seems to be things that are under control, out of control, and you name the area and you feel like, oh my gosh, the world is revolving so quickly, and I don't understand any of these changes. And I'm lost often because of all of these changes, and I want to pursue this and I want to go this direction. The biggest thing that I can say to that group is to slow down and to listen to the simple things that are going on around us. I think the more that things feel like that, the more that we want to think that everything's about connectivity and all of these massive changes. But the more that you live life, and this is like a perspective thing that you get, you realize that very little about life is about that. Yeah, there's a little bit of that that's going on. I'm talking to a damn cell phone right now. I'm going on a walk. But for the most part, your life doesn't change that much. And the important parts of doing many of the things that we do are actually about just personal connection. Really simple things that happen. Good morning.
Beautiful.
Thank you. They're talking about these guys. There's just little things that happen all the time about personal connection that you forget about and you don't think about, that are vitally important to how everything operates and how you feel and the connections that you feel. Often, we think about, well, we should go more digital and there should be more business transactions that are more digital. What you'll notice is when you do that, nothing's going to happen. You'll spend a whole great load of money. I've done that. That's a reciprocity project. But at the end of the day, the only thing that really matters, the only thing where people are getting it and they understand what I'm doing, building this sort of platform to help us work easier, is where I'm actually building connection, where I'm talking to you. I don't know who you are, but I hope you're listening to this, and I hope that you're understanding what I'm saying. Like the fact that we're building software, that's irrelevant. What matters more is the fact that you feel like you know me in some sort of way. You feel that, hey, maybe I'm your older brother, or maybe I'm your dad. I don't know. Something like that where you just feel like, hey, I understand what's going on. That personal connection thing, ultimately, that's the driving force behind a lot of stuff. It has nothing to do with all these sort of trendy things you'll see in marketing or in, I don't know, academic research is very much this way, where there's like the newest thing and everybody pays attention to that. But ultimately, if you take a look at the structure of how these things work, it's usually one person that has a lot of say and people listen to that. And the reason why people like to hang around that one person, so in the academic game, I'll be a famous professor, for example, and there's lots of quote unquote research productivity that comes from this one professor because lots of people want to work with this person. The reason why, besides all of the other things that are going on of like institutions and things like that, the reason why is people like to be around that person. And it's like a personal connection thing, more so than all the other things that are going on. The reason why organizations and businesses are successful often is because people give up a lot of fanfare for themselves to contribute to the greater good and to do things where people just love to be there. And that's the only reason. Now, another thing that I want you to sort of think about, if you think that the world is going around and round and round and round and round, if you just simply stopped and kind of slowed down, you start seeing a lot more patterns that are happening. If you're just sort of reflective a little bit, you start seeing a lot more patterns all around us that seem to persist because we're humans. Despite the fact that, despite the fact that we have this amazing technology and it seems like, yeah, we can have access to all these people, we're having the same conversations we've had for the last 3,000, probably 10,000 years. And I just want you to realize that there's a lot of humanness that will persist. And that humanness is hard to get rid of. And often, if you want to make things happen, you have to slow down, do these sort of connection things, listen to the world around you. It's amazing what happens when you do that, by the way. Your heart rate goes down, you don't feel nearly as stressed out, you realize that the world is not spinning around and round and round. I'm actually enjoying this thing. And this project that we call Earth, this is actually a little bit fun. And it doesn't feel the way that you're thinking about. Any project that is worthwhile takes an enormous amount of work, is a very slow thing, and it doesn't feel like it's speeding up and going quicker and quicker and quicker. It almost feels like it's slowing down. And you're getting your groove, you're getting your feeling on how things actually work. So I'd encourage you, pick something, slow down with it, and just enjoy.